Welcome to another episode of Measure. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're just jumping into how search has changed. This is going to be no surprise. AI has completely changed how people are typing in the information they're looking for results for, where they're typing it into. So we just kind of dive into the different avenues of just like a keyword search versus a prompt search, which we'll go through all that. We'll have our customer question, and as always, end on our featured project. So just for starters, it's understanding that search has changed. Not that it's changing. I mean, it is always changing. AI changes every single day. So it's just really noticing that it has changed. People used to type 2 to 3 words into Google. Now they're typing in full questions or speaking into their device to get that answer back. Now, Google provides you a list. First 10, you always want to be on page 1. First, Google has 10 results, organic results per page. So you always want to be one of those 10 blue links. Chat usually gives you analysis. So they're diving into or trying to decipher what you typed in and giving you that best result back. Now, Google obviously is always trying to give you that best result as well. But a lot of times, if you are not going into the AI overview, which we've talked about in different episodes, how that is that first results up top that Google is summarizing what they think you're wanting. Or if you're in Google AI mode, which would be, again, like going into a ChatGPT and typing in a prompt. But it's just kind of understanding that there's different expectations for the way you get your answer depending where you're at. And that's where everything is becoming a little bit different. People are behaving differently. When they are searching, people are willing to type in more information to get that answer back because they realize the more specific they get, the better opportunity that their result that they're looking for is going to be that much higher. And so for about the last 15 years, the playbook was pretty similar on how that you could find a keyword with decent volume in reasonable difficulty, build a page, target it, get backlinks, rank, get the clicks. So that was just like a simple thing. And I shouldn't say simple because anyone who is truly doing it knows that it's just not simple. But that used to be a routine that really would work for anyone going out and doing any keyword research and wanting to rank for that keyword. Now, that model worked when every query was a fragment typed into a search box. So just meaning when you went into Google and you were just typing in those 2 to 3 words and you took the time to do that keyword research, you knew the difficulty behind it, you knew how people were ranking, you could go see who was ranking on those keywords and doing all that targeting. But nowadays with chat or AI in general, because there's different ones. I just keep saying chat because that's one that we happen to reference a lot. It's one that we do a lot of research on. And so we just have some numbers up front before we dive more into this episode for you to realize how long a chat query can be and all the additional that I'm going to go through. So I'm just going to dive right into it. So a typical Google query is 3 to 5 words. So you go into Google, you type in a result, your question, 2 to 3 words, 3 to 5 words, which was that average. But the average ChatGPT query is now over 35 words. So you have to think about how different that is, how different people are taking the time, again, to fill it with information to get that result back, that best result back. 67% of AI search queries are full questions or conversational phrases, not keywords. So when we talk with a lot of different of our customers and we are talking about their website and we're talking about the content on their website, and yes, we do still believe in blogs, but it's really diving in and owning what we call money pages. And so it's having those specific pages on whether it's a service with a location, and that's a lot depending who you are and what you're offering, but it's having those big content pieces that truly aren't just a blog, that's very wrapped around who you are, what you do, and where it is, and having it in conversational format. you'll see a lot of times with blogs nowadays, there'll be frequently asked questions at the bottom, and most people should have a frequently asked questions page. And even on your services pages, there might be frequently asked questions. But a lot of the times is you have to realize that most people are looking for an answer when they are on an AI platform asking a question. And that 67% of all AI search queries are full questions or conversational phrases. That is why. That is realizing that how important it is to keep updating your content. If you have not touched your website content in years, you could easily just be losing because of that. Because that you're not taking the time to realize how important information is, first and foremost, but then updating your site and realizing that you're going to take the time, answer those questions. You guys know what your customers are asking you. Over and over, people are coming to you daily for what? Why? What did you solve today? What came about? I mean, it's taking the time and making notes to think, hey, we should put that on our website. We just helped this person do this. That would make a great story. That would make a great page. It's things like that that are just going to help you. So I'm going to dive back into a few of these other numbers that we have. So 27% of all queries are now voice initiated. How interesting. I am not one who grabs his phone and talks into it. I haven't got to that yet. Not saying I won't. I have a gentleman that does it all the time. And sometimes it's always very interesting on how it formats that back to you. But it's also realizing that people are just talking. So again, that conversational format, they are talking into their phone to do that search because they don't want to type everything out, but they want to have it all there for that prompt to give it its best answer back. ChatGPT alone runs about 2 billion queries per day. That's just nuts. I mean, it's awesome. And this next one we've talked about many times. It is estimated that traditional search engines like Google volume will drop 25% in 2026. So it'll be interesting at the end of this year to see how much Google volume did drop. Now, Google obviously is pushing more of their AI overviews. They are pushing their AI mode to keep you there, to keep you giving you those answers that you can get going into a different LLM, large language model is what that means. So whether you're going into Claude or ChatGPT or Perplexity, but 26% and that, or sorry, 25%, and that is a huge drop. So that's just kind of where we're talking about how search has changed, how people are searching, what they're searching, and kind of all the above. So we did put an example. I like to have an example in our episode. So if you are just listening, you're not going to be able to see it, or go jump on YouTube and you can find it in the episode. We have two different ones. One is just a Google. We're in Google. It's a Google search. And I'll show you the example here in a moment. Gutter contractor, Spirit Lake, Iowa is the keyword. And we'll show you the result. And then we have another one with chat. So we use ChatGPT. Who is the most reliable gutter contractor in Northwest Iowa with good reviews and fair pricing is what we typed into the prompt. So just there alone, you could see the amount of information between the two, what we're asking for in each of them. And so we'll dive right in to the prompt. So the first one we're showing is Google. And you can see underneath the sponsored results. So this one has sponsored results. I was just looking for the organic. And I highlighted the guarantee gutter, and guarantee gutter is the one I'll have highlighted in both. But you can see that below those sponsored results, you see guarantee gutter, you see whatever they have as their meta description or whatever Google felt relevant to pull off their page for that title and description. But I do think that is what was initially chosen. And then we can come into ChatGPT. And up top above that map, you can see the larger prompt. And I did add a few more from what I just had said. So I'll reread it to you. It says, I live in Spirit Lake, Iowa, and I think my gutters need to be replaced. I'm looking for a reliable contractor with good reviews and fair pricing. Who should I talk to and what should I be asking them? And so it did a little bit of a map search, kind of like Google. But the number one, your top local gutter and roofing contractors, which I worded it a little bit different because guaranteed gutter is truly just for your gutters. But it is there as well. And then it gives you some bullet points on different reasons on why that you would choose them. So that is kind of a unique thing that you get when you are in an LLM like ChatGPT and you're asking it different questions, and it's going to format that response back to best help you. Now in Google, you're getting your link. See if I can't jump back. You get a link to the site. Obviously, whatever they put in their title, whatever they put in their description. And if that is enough, you'll get them to come through. That is traditional search. So that is honestly the best that you are going to get. And being a relevant option is very important. Being in the area that they're searching is very important. But it's knowing that when you came and you gave that prompt more information, that if you had all that data, I mean, we had asked for who had good reviews. Now, in chat, it's not pulling anything with these any Google reviews that they have, but in Google, they have them. So it's also knowing that everything is kind of tying back together and realizing that what you have, how people are looking for you, and knowing that you have, as a whole, not even just the content, because you have to have those other factors for any SEO platform to work. And that's where I think SEO, AIO, people call it all different things. So whether, I think they all come back to SEO in the end, I guess is the biggest thing I'm trying to say. Yes, 110%. AI optimization needs to be first and foremost in your thoughts, but I don't think you're going to rank well if you're not doing what you should be doing with your SEO. I mean, your site still has to be a relevant option all the way through. And then having those other factors, like making sure, like if you're focused on local, and I think Google reviews are everything anyway, so you should be doing that even if you aren't that focused on local, because it can pull all that together. Those are all just different factors of showing that you are that credible business that someone is looking for. Someone wants to know that they had a good experience with you. They're not looking for you to write your own story. They're looking for someone else's words. And that's where reviews can just help you win, and making sure that you understand the difference on you putting out your own review that someone gave. And it might be 100% honest. And I hope they are. But knowing that someone else can put whatever they truly want and how their experience really was is what is going to help you win in the end. And it's knowing that you have to have all of it. It's not just one thing. It's just not your keyword. It's not just your backlink. I mean, it is your site as a whole. It is your online presence as a whole. Your social can play a factor into this as well. Organic social is huge. Don't be afraid of it. Go out, start posting, start recording. Video is huge. I mean, it's just thinking of all the different things. I know nothing is that simple or that easy, or different things scare different people for different reasons. But realizing that when someone is looking for you and you want to be found, that just a simple keyword search really isn't the way people are looking anymore. And it is how are you going to adjust? We have some things that we'll tell you in these next couple of minutes on things that just to think about, or things to make sure that you're still not doing, or that if this is still your strategy that you may need to adjust. But before we just jump back into that, just understanding that you know how you're using AI, and it's thinking, okay, how does that affect me? How does that affect my business? And how can I adapt to make sure that we are going to be that option when people are searching? So kind of getting back into those keywords and that keyword research and kind of what still matters with that. You still have different keywords, still have, whether they're intent, informational, commercial, and transactional queries. That hasn't changed. Those still happen. I've said this in other episodes. informational queries seem to be coming back. So, and a lot of times they happen to be like a blog source for different customers, depending on how much content they've built out on their site. But when you think about the informational queries, it is how people are looking and answering a question, how people are providing out different types of content to be able to answer those questions. So that's where I'm saying a blog, because a lot of times people are using their blogs for reasons like that. And that just helps with their overall ability to show up in search, but how they're being cited in AI. And that part hasn't changed for keywords and how they get, how those queries kind of get labeled. Local relevance, people still search local. I think local will forever be a large thing. People are looking for who is close to them, who is in their area. I mean, you're looking for someone to help with any service. Obviously, we used gutter contractor in that example earlier, but if you're looking for someone to clean your house, if you're looking for someone to cut some trees, and whatever you're looking for, you're obviously looking for someone who is near you. And so that's where local will ever be huge. Trust signals, like we talked about, reviews, those, go get your reviews. We talked about go get 50 last episode. Highly recommend, if you're not there, to keep trying and then go get 50 more. Don't ever settle. You know your customers, you know the people that will respond to you. And that is just one thing that will ever be there for. And having clear, accurate answers from credible sources. And we talked about this in one of the episodes too. Be that credible source. Be that backlink. I mean, we talk about getting backlinks and how that just, it overall helps you with your organic search. But you being that option that is being cited and sourced because you are that professional in that field, you are providing that information that someone needs to source back in their own site, in their own blog, that is really where you're going to win with backlinks. And so if you are providing information, having that credible source, but I also push each of our customers to be that credible source. You have a business because of why. What is that why? Why do people hire you? Why do people come stay with you? I mean, all the different things. And it is being that source. It is helping someone else become what you have. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing you can do is teach and learn and share. I mean, it's a big reason we started this podcast, is just be able to share with other business owners who aren't working with an agency or who are working with an agency, and just for you to better understand simply what you need to ask, or what should be asking, I guess I should say, or if you're doing it on your own, just little things to help. So it is how to be that source can be a large things. Those fundamentals of everything aren't going to go away. Those are still going to be important. So it's realizing that yes, some things have changed, but there's still those core components that aren't going to change. So we're going to dive into just some signs that you may be stuck a few years back. We'll say 2018. You chase high volume keywords without thinking about intent. Your content reads like it was written for Google, not for a person. And that's huge. This is where it has drastically changed with AI, and just knowing how conversationally that you talk to someone and it is giving your answers back in that format. So realizing that, yes, you may be putting this all together so you do get ranked and that people can find you. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But it's the way you write it is the important thing. Your pages are too long, dense, and are hard to quote. Break things up, make it easy for people to read. I joke about it all the time with our customers that no one wants to read anymore, but it's just true. We can put things out in people's faces and it's like they couldn't find the answer. Well, it was the big bold headline, literally was the answer, but no one took the time to read it. And so it is realizing that most people aren't taking the time to read your content. So as we're sitting here talking about put all this content on your site that no one is going to take the time to read, But you have to realize when someone is researching something and someone is needing some information that they care about, they are going to read to make sure that it's credible or read what they were looking for. And so it's that you are that source for that person that is looking to read is the most important part of that. Your traffic is dropping and you don't know where it went, and you have never asked an AI tool what it says about your business. I recommend that to a lot of our customers, just to go out, ask AI, who am I? Or put your domain name in and say, what can you tell me about my company or this company, whatever you're looking for, whether you're looking for yourself or someone else, and just seeing what it says back. Don't be afraid to see what does AI know about you, or what do you think AI knows about you, to make sure that you can start making adjustments from there. I always say don't make changes just to make changes. Have a reason. I mean, that's where you come up with a strategy and you're figuring out how people are finding you, what you're already being sourced well for, and what are other opportunities that you have. We work with different people that there's different times they have services on their site, but I'll just call them the low-hanging fruit. And they don't think much people are looking for them. And then we start going through all their results, and they can't believe the amount of people that have came in for that one topic, one service that they have that they don't really promote, don't have a lot of information about, happen to be an option, in realizing that, hey, if you want to, this is an easy spot we should switch a little bit of focus to. And to me, it opens people's eyes up to seeing like, oh, okay, I guess for us at the moment, it wasn't a big thing, but maybe we should spend a little bit more time on that. So understanding your data is where I kind of switched that all to, not on how you've been stuck in the past, because that's where we started, but taking the time to make sure that you are paying attention to how people are behaving on your site, how people are finding you, and where they're coming from. Where is your traffic sources coming from when they do land on your site? And things that you can do to help you move a little bit forward, I guess, to help you build is an easy way to say it. Make a list of actual questions your customers ask. We said that a little bit earlier in this episode. Real questions in their words, don't change them. Even, I feel like over time, people want to get very professional with their content, which is not a bad thing, especially depending what field you're in, but like to adjust people's questions a little bit. Just not that it that it sounds better, I guess, just from how it was worded in. But you have to realize is that if someone asks you it in that way, others may be asking it in the exact same way. They may not fully understand what an acronym had meant, or what the way they worded it, which you knew was wrong, or what you thought they meant. It is putting it out in the way that they asked it. Getting back into your content, answering questions, writing them clearly, plain language. I always like to dumb everything down if we can nowadays. And that comes back to, I just don't think everyone loves to read in answer. And so just having it clear, making it quick, the structure of everything is important on how you find them out. The way we're starting to do pages of content now is, my favorite is just giving you what I think you would want up front. What is the most important thing? You land on someone's services page and they need to know what. Maybe it's 5 quick bullet points. Maybe it's a little paragraph that overall gives you exactly what you need right there. Then supply them all the extra content that you find very credible, that someone may want to also read if they want to choose you. But it's realizing that if I can't get someone on this page, when they get there, you have little to no time, 3 to 10 seconds for them to make a decision. But it's knowing that concept every page. All your main pages. So whether you're on your homepage and your services pages, it is that they clearly know who you are, what you do, and is this for me everywhere. A lot of people focus it on a couple of pages, but I really try to push people to do that beyond. Even in a blog, a quick summary of what you're going to read if you want to read it. Obviously, you want people to stay on your page. You want people to spend time on your site, but also giving it to them in a format that they can just quickly understand it. And if they don't understand it or want to learn more, you have all the content. I'm not saying don't put the content, you got to have the rest of the content, but it's just kind of building out that structure. We talked about your trust signals. A big thing we've started doing for a lot of people is pulling. I mean, I won't do it unless you have Google reviews, but we can pull your Google reviews onto your site. So this is kind of going back to don't just have reviews that you typed out. It is having them pulled in from another source that you really can't control, but you're pulling them in and people can actually see. Now, yes, I think you should do I'll use 154i, having featured projects, showing the work that we've done for other people. But you can go out, for instance, like for a website, you can go look at that website. Yes, we did it. Yes, you can go look and see if you like it or not. Quotes from people, obviously, if we get a quote from them or if we remember to ask for them, that will include that. Now, that isn't coming out of Google or anything. That's us putting it on our site. But there's different ways that you can have where people can actually go see it and they just know, I mean, hey, they did this. It just kind of gives you that credibility. And I push that for a lot of different people in all different industries. We were working with a different company that did landscape, and I have forever was just recommending to go and just put out the work you're doing. You spend so much time providing such quality work to customers. Put it out there. Let people know that we did this here. And these are the things, this was the ask, and this is what we provided. I mean, it is just showing your work. Most of the time, people are doing all these things, and it's really just sharing with everyone else that, yes, we can do this. Yes, this is what we are already doing. People are already coming to us. We are already trusted, but it's just building on that and letting them see, like, yes, this is us. We did that, and we can do that for you. And when you start building that out and you start getting all these people to come onto your site and finding all those different trusting signals throughout, I mean, that is the biggest thing that you can do is get someone to trust you online. I don't know if there's any other way to really say that about it, but before I jump into our customer question, getting back to just the initial topic, have the content, know that people are asking longer formed questions, looking for the conversational answers, and then building your site to have that. Highly recommend that. Everyone really should be doing it, but if you're not, it's always a great time to get started. So don't ever feel like you're full behind and that you're missing out, because you can always get started on that. And jumping in, we're sticking on the AI topic for our customer question of the day. And it is, what are your thoughts on AI chat on my website? And I have gotten this multiple times lately, so I thought this was very relevant. Ties into a little bit of this episode, but I actually like when the customer questions have nothing to do with the episode at all. But I'm hesitant right now, and I think that'll change over time. I have seen it done decent, and I have seen it done bad. I have not seen one that was done great. And the decent one, I will say, is that they took the time to answer almost like 200 questions. So the way that this chat worked is that you answer out, I mean, it was very relevant to their industry. So it was about 200 questions that were all about their industry that you answered out. And then when you put the chatbot on your site, it loads up. You can ask a question. If it is your answers in there, it will provide that answer out or try to provide you the best possible answer. And then you can ask another. The hard thing is that what I felt people would want to know the most of, they had to talk to someone to get that answer. Like, that was just how that industry worked. And it was a hospitality industry. So I'll just put that part out. And it was availability. And the chatbot was never going to, at this moment, wasn't tied into anything that would be able to answer out if they had any availability or anything along those lines. So when you came on to a hospitality website, yes, you could probably find in some quick questions, like if it was pet friendly or your check-in and checkout hours and different things along those lines. But if you were really wanting to get into a deeper conversation, you were going to have to talk to someone no matter what. Now, that company wanted to talk to you anyway, so that didn't matter, other than the fact that you might be misleading someone with that chat if you thought you were really going to give the answers out. But again, like I said, they took the time, 200 questions, 200 answers that were all relevant for hospitality. Now, another one that I had saw done didn't ask you any questions. It crawled to your site. If you found the answer on your site, it gave the answer. Good and bad. How many questions do you have on your site? Hopefully nowadays a lot more, but it was not that helpful. And I think more people got frustrated with it. And if you're anything like me and you get on a site that has a chat box and it starts off as AI, I always type in speak to a human, or I want to speak to a human, and seeing if it is a possibility to be transferred to one, or if that's not even an option, and that I just move on. Because in the end, I personally still like to be able to chat with a human, and both of these didn't have that functionality at all. So do I think that they're great at the moment? My answer is no. But do I think they're going to come around and be? Yes. I just think it's time that will tell. But I also think having a human element, which is a huge thing for all your content. I'm not ever saying just go put all your content in AI and copy and paste and put that on your site. We talked about that many times. It's having that human element. I think that's the same with the chat. Having that human element, someone being able to chat with the human if you're putting it on your site, if someone is looking for an instant answer. And so if you can't provide that instant answer, or you don't want to provide that instant answer, then it might not be the right option for you. But you won't know until you try either. But when you are going out and looking for one, I would look for one that you can feed information to, one that you can build around who you are, what your company does, and just making sure that that opportunity is there for you to be able to help your customers and not make them frustrated or make them not even want to reach out to you in the end, because that's exactly opposite of what they were looking for. And the one wasn't as bad. I just know the one that didn't answer really any questions, that one didn't work out. It was only on their site for a week or two, and it came off and it hasn't went back. And they aren't looking for another one either, just because of the experience that they had. But know when you're looking at something that, yes, if it's going to take you a decent amount of time, that might help you out in the end. That's all I have to say on that. And then we're going to jump into our featured project, and it is Pearson Lakes Art Center up in Okoboji, Iowa. Really fun site for us to design and build with them. And one thing that I always enjoy a project that has, we work with a lot of sites that don't have any brand guidelines at all. And then sometimes we have them that have a decent amount. And one of their things that Pearson Lakes Art Center has is what they call different pillars of their center, where they have performing arts, visual arts, culinary arts, education, and outdoor. And they're each color coded to their own color for their pillar. And so I'll just click on performing arts. When you go into any of the performing arts pages, it sticks with their color scheme. And then, for instance, if I jump over to education, it sticks with its color scheme. And if we go to outdoor, it sticks to its color scheme. And so when you get to work with different things within a site like that, that's always fun. It's always entertaining. It makes you think they're obviously already know what they are doing and putting in together. But for us, it was fun to work with. You can go check out the different events that they have going on. There's always something going on there, so you won't be disappointed when you are looking to find something. The website is lakesart.org. So we appreciate you tuning in today. Please like, comment, and subscribe on whichever platform you're on, and we'll catch you next time.